Oh, there we go. Forgot audio. Hello, everybody. We're finishing this dang octopus today. You hit that point where it's gone on for too long, and we're going to get the base layers on the little albino red-eyed tree frog. That is the plan. Let's see how far we can get in this today. If you are new here, or if you've not watched one of these live streams, if you're looking for just a straight tutorial, this is not what this is. I'm demonstrating and answering questions while I work, but if you're looking for just straight tutorials, that is what Patreon is for. For as little as $4 a month, you get access to all of my longer tutorials. There are over 300 there in various mediums. You can head over to my website. There's a video library there. Links are in the video description if you want to see what type of content is there, along with a free colored pencil. I guess that would be a demonstration. It's not really a lesson on that one, but there we go. Okay, so we got that out of the way. So anyone who is going to complain that I need to draw more, I'm not teaching enough, that's not what this is. This is a time that I get to hang out with you guys and we get to chat, because I don't have time to answer emails and private messages for the most part. So there we go. Okay, let's see. Let me move some stuff around over here. That isn't where I want it to be. Why am I... Did they change something on here? I think they did. I'm having a... Hold on one second. It's not working. I've got a weird... There have been some different things lately on my... Nope, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Weird. No chewing. Wait. Itchy boy, stop. No chewing. We'll call you Scratchy Cow. Bad cow. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, that isn't the same. It's not lining weird. Anyway, okay. Enough of that. Yo said, how are you? Any more rest? Not really. I did sleep pretty good the night before, but I keep failing on my naps. I'll lay down and then my brain starts going a million miles an hour trying to come up with stuff. So, or thinking of ideas or just random thoughts that pop in your head. Yeah, that has been me for the last few days. It's been really bad. So, yeah, kind of annoying, but I'm very tired. So, that's usual. I think part of it too, oh, I forgot my pencil kit. 1 second. I don't know where my sharpener is. Yeah, I think part of it too, my fibromyalgia is just angry, and because sometimes you'll hit those times where fatigue is worse, and my allergies have been horrible. If I go out, like right now you hear me coughing, if I go outside at all, I start coughing so bad, and it'll fade the longer I'm in the house, and then I go outside again and it comes right back. So yeah, I think it's just one of those times where you're anyone who has chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia gets this, where it's just you just have times where you're just extra tired, you're not sleeping well, and there's nothing major. Well, okay, I have been working my butt off, so there has been a lot of work, which you would think I would sleep better. It's just dumb. But if that's the worst I have to complain about in life, I'll take it. Gypsy Heart said, happy Friday, everyone. Any plans for the holiday weekend? I've got 3 days, no plans, just going to paint away. No, I don't really... Holidays don't mean, which is kind of sad, because I used to love Christmas and Halloween, all that, but Easter, holidays don't mean much to me anymore because I work through them. I don't take days off for normally. So, even if I take, let's say I take Christmas Day off if it was a live stream day, because no one's going to watch anyway, I'm still working. I still find something else to work on. So I guess I'm a bit of a workaholic, but yeah. Oh, fun announcement. If you missed this, I posted online somewhere. I'm back on a regular schedule besides the live stream. So what it will be now is Tuesdays. If all goes well, I should have an edited video, and I think I'm going to change up. We'll see. I'm going to test it and we'll see how it goes. But my normal, my time-lapse painting video, I think I want to focus on one subject. So one of them coming up with a wolf. Is that this week or next week? I forget. I don't know. One of these weeks it's coming up in charcoal. That one will be focused more on values than specifically this is how we draw hair. So, that's all covered in the Patreon video, but I think I'm going to kind of mold the video around it so we really focus. We'll see. I don't know how well that will go. We'll give it a try. And then, so Tuesdays will be an edited video. Wednesdays are live streams. Thursdays are another edited video. How many of you guys saw yesterday's video? So yesterday was, let's see, what am I doing? I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing here. Yesterday's video was where I answered Megan's question. She sent me a video, which was so awesome. And I was able to then answer and show the solution. So I would love to do more like that, but I don't know how many people are going to send in videos. And it's also a little bit harder because I don't want someone sending in something that's like a little bit too basic. Like, how do I paint a cat? I don't want them going through the trouble of making the video for me to go, that is not what these videos are for. Like, I'm not answering a lifetime of experience in a 5-minute video. So I don't know how to specify, like, it's a very, I can solve or help you solve a very specific problem. So I'd like to do more of those, but either way, that or some random art tip, like I have one planned coming up that I'm going to do, how to sign your name in acrylics. I show you guys all the time on the live streams, the end of them, but I don't have a standalone video that somebody who just searched YouTube would find. So I'll have something like that, just these quick tips on Thursdays, and then Fridays, again, the live stream. So, and then of course, late Tuesday or Wednesday morning, depending on what your skip time is, I'll have the normal Patreon Subscribe Star member video. So yeah, I've got lots of stuff coming up, so I'm pretty excited about that. But no holiday plans. I just don't do anything. Like, I don't have family in the area. We have my in-laws, but they don't really do anything either. So yeah, we don't. All my friends, this sounds so super sad, but all my friends are in California. So I don't see anybody. I have no life. I'm a sad, pathetic lady. Let's see. Where are we? Gypsy Heart said, did you happen to catch the Wheel of Time trailer from Amazon? I did not. I'm still working through the book 1 now, so I've got November to finish book 1 and 2. No, I have not seen the trailer. I did look up because I was curious how they cast some of the roles, which also kind of lets you know how far they're going to go into season 1 based on, did they cast specific roles yet that like come later in that book. So they didn't. So they're apparently not getting it. Well, I mean, the book is 8 years long for one, so that makes sense. But I did go and look up the photos. I thought that it looks like it was cast pretty well. Like the people look very similar in most cases. A few of them I'm like, oh, that's not how I pictured that person. But in most cases, I thought they did an excellent job on how they cast a lot of the main characters. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm on book. What book am I on now? Hold on. Oh, I should probably put hold on. I don't have notifications open. Okay, what am I on now? Book 4, I think. Hold on. It doesn't say. Shadow Rising, whichever one that is. I want to say it's book 4. But yeah, I'm on that one now. It's funny because those books, like, they don't drag me into the point where I'm like, I can't put this down. Like, when I listen to one of my favorite series is the Dragonian series by, wrote those? Adrienne Woods. Dear God, she needs an editor. But the story itself is so good. I love the characters. I love so much about those books. And those ones that was like the last one I can remember where I just could not put it down. I was I loved that story. There was just so much. So, it's not like that. Like, it's not, I can stop in the middle of a major, like, development or scene and I just don't care. But also, I feel like I'm getting my credit worth because it's so long. I just let it play. I can leave the room, come back 20 minutes later. I didn't miss anything. Like, it is so wordy in unnecessary words. So I wouldn't, it's worth it because you get a lot for your credit. I do the Audible, but it's not one that I'm like, can't put down hook, but I also want to finish it. So there's that. Okay, whoops. Where are we? EO said, I watched and enjoyed, learned lots, though I don't work in acrylics. Oh, nice. Natalie said, how is your reef tank doing? Dealing with ick myself, but in freshwater. I don't know. Okay. I thought that I was seeing signs of, I've been battling flukes. That's been, well, maybe you don't know. I think you knew. I don't know. Flukes, gill flukes. I don't know if there's skin flukes in addition to that, but I know for certain gill flukes. So I treated, the treatment for that is a medication called Prozipro, and it's Praziquantel, but it's got it's like a binder that allows it to dissolve into the water and affect the fish. So I dosed that. You're supposed to do it once, dose it again. This is one of rare medications that can be dosed into a reef tank and not affect your corals or inverts. I had already pulled my my cleaner shrimp, so I wasn't worried there. But I couldn't, but even that, they do fine. So I treated it. You're supposed to treat it again a week later. I treated it a week later, but the day before that, they started showing major signs again, like the worst I'd seen as far as symptoms. So I treated again, and then I went through a round of as much as is possibly recommended plus one. So they say you can dose as often as every 72 hours. I did that. You do a big water change, and then you dose, and then 72 hours, big water change, you dose, big water change, dose. So I was causing a couple of issues. One, you're going to end up with a bacterial bloom, and I did that 4 times in a row. So you end up with, and I was starting to get the bacterial bloom. Not the end of the world, but it does deplete the water of oxygen. One of the problems with gill flukes is you're depleting, the fish can't get oxygen. It's kind of a bad combo, but by this point, the gill fluke should be gone. So I went really heavy on this because these fish had been treated with ProZipro before when I bought them pre-quarantined, and it didn't get rid of them. So I'm like, okay, we're just going to go ahead and go heavy on this. I did end up with a little bit of a bacterial bloom by the 4th treatment. No big deal. Turned on the UV sterilizer, put the carbon back in the tank, wiped it. I mean, within hours, the tank was pretty clear. So that was good. And it wasn't a major bacterial bloom. It was just starting to get foggy. So we got that under control, but I do have a weird bacterial type thing, a white fuzz growing on the underside of rock, which can be a pain in the butt. We'll see how that goes. I bottomed out my nitrates and phosphates, which brought in dinoflagellates, which I'm probably saying wrong, but I did get a type of dinos. It's a toxic algae you do not want in your tank, and some people have torn down their tanks when they get it because you can't ever get rid of it. In my case, I don't think mine is major. I think I know why it happened. It was kind of expected with doing that many water changes. My water was just too clean, and if the water's too clean, it gives this type of algae it's a foothold for it. So I'm now heavily feeding the tank more than I already was. I'm heavily feeding the coral, crazy dosing of phytoplankton, and it hasn't gotten worse, which is surprising. It's one of those things that just takes over quick, but it is there mildly. So we'll see how that goes. The fish, that is kind of weird with the flukes. I thought that we were all done with them. I was hoping we were done with them, but they kept flashing, and then I started getting worried. I'm like, okay, I'm going to dose ProZipro again. I'm going to know one way or another if they react, because they shake their heads like crazy if they had gill flukes because of the way that ProZipro affects the gill flukes. It makes them spasm, so the fish are shaking their heads, getting it out. No reaction. So I think the gill flukes might be done, or there's so few. I don't know. So it's just a waiting point thing at this point. It had been, when I dosed it again, it had been 16 days since the previous dose, which by then should have, if they were going to be there, they should have. So now I'm just waiting and seeing. I don't really want to dose anything else in that tank if I don't have to, because it's why I'm having water quality issues now. So yeah, it's a whole, at this point, I think it's a waiting game. I just need to wait. I need to scoot this paper over is what I need. But I need to let everything balance out, the water quality and stuff. You can't make stuff happen fast in a reef tank. So I'm just going through that. I thought that the fish might have had ick. I'm not seeing the spot. So either the fish fought it off or it was something else. I don't even know. So yeah, I sent in my eDNA test. I'm hoping by the end of this month I'll get results. If not, it would be the end of next month if I missed the timing there. But because they send it overseas to like Switzerland or somewhere for the test. I forget where it goes. But yeah, that is what's going on there. It's a big bunch of, I don't really know. My coral looks like it's doing pretty well. I would like to get a couple of more mushroom corals. I also need to not be spending money, so there's that. But I want to get some more mushrooms for the tank to start in quarantine. So I was thinking either this week or next week to go get those. A lot of places are having sales right now, so it might be a good time to go pick some up. I know Aqua Studios is one of the main places I go, and they're having 25% off livestock. And then I would assume, I have to check Glass Aquatics is the other place I go. I'll have to see if they're having any sales. But I can't buy a lot. I'm like, 2 mushrooms. I can get 2 mushrooms. Must limit myself this time. So yeah, that is the story of my reef tank. Don't get one. It's more stress than it's worth. I mean, I've had my reefs before. I had a reef for 10 years, and then I broke that down when I moved, and then I've had the other one for 2.5 years, more than 2.5 years now, my Nano. This one has just been, it's been a bit of a headache, It's like with the reef tank, there's always a problem you're trying to solve. It's like a known thing with the hobby. It's not like everything is just totally smooth. It's just, there's always something that you're trying to fix. Let's see. Lori said, I'm seeing your shorts. Great idea and good info. Thanks. Yeah, I'm having fun with those. I need to make some more, but that's been fun because the ones that I'm doing, the outline, and then I erase the outline, the design of the work, and then you see the painting underneath. Those outlines I'm using for the coloring pages over on Patreon, which is like 2 birds, 1 stone. I just have to make sure that those outlines, initially I was going to do a looser sketch, but because I'm making them coloring pages, they have to be more detailed and more complete. So yeah, those have been fun. I'm glad you're seeing them. Tara said, yep, I seen yesterday's video and I got the postcard today. Yay! Oh, quick break here. For those who upgraded the Patreon, so I made new tiers on Patreon. I haven't gotten the greeting cards yet. Those just shipped. I got the notification. So hopefully next week they'll be there and then I can make a new video showing people what the new rewards are. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek. Look at this stick. Oh, wait, hold on. It's not in focus, but it is way more clear in person. This sticker looks so good in person. Yeah, you can't, it's super crisp, but this is one of the stickers. It's a vinyl sticker. It's thick. Like I was worried about this reward because I hadn't seen the stickers first. I didn't want to give you guys a crappy, like just paper sticker. No, these are vinyl. These are nice. I'm putting these all over the place, but it's got glitch, but it's out of focus when I get it close enough for you to see. So yeah, that is, can I do it on this one? Will you be able to see easier? Maybe it'll focus better. I don't know if that's focusing well, but I'm super excited. I got that one. And then for the following month, I got these little round ones. These ones probably won't be as easy to see, but it's got the zombie snail and it says paint all the things. So let's see if it'll show up on that one better. This lighting, he just looks too dark, but it's really a pretty sticker. I like the frog one the best, but yeah, the print quality of these, I'm super excited about. So hopefully the print quality of the greeting cards is just as good because I want to make sure those rewards are good. Otherwise I have to find somebody else to print them and it's a whole thing, but yeah, yay. Natalie Bug said, the baby mouse I'm hand rearing is doing well. He's just starting to open his eyes. Oh, he's already so cute. I'm not going to cope with the cuteness when he opens his eyes fully. Oh, how adorable. Let's see, Natalie said, whoops. Natalie said, flashing is so distressing to see. I lost a couple Odo catfish to my outbreak. I have mostly shrimp, so it's not as deadly. Ugh, that sucks. Yeah, the shrimp is not going to, the shrimp won't be affected by the ick. But yeah, that's, once it's in your tank, I mean, what you have to do is pull those fish, treat them in another tank because any medications are going to kill the shrimp. They can't be treated together. The shrimp won't get ick, and then you have to go fallow. I don't know what it is for freshwater. For saltwater, if your tank is, let's say, 78 degrees, you have to go fallow for 76 days, 72 days. I forget which it is for ick. If you're 81.6, I forget, degrees, if you're a little bit warmer, you only have to go fallow for 6 weeks. But yeah, it's a big deal. So I've got a UV sterilizer on mine, which will help keep the population of parasites low enough that hopefully the fish can overcome it if they do get it. So I don't know what is going on in my case, but yeah, it's bad. What's more concerning to me would be Brooklinella, and this is not something you guys have to deal with freshwater, but Brooklinella and marine velvet will take them out quick. Like those are scary, scary diseases with how quickly the fish will be lost. I mean, they'll be dying before you've ever seen any symptoms. And that's one of the concerns I've had when I see the fish breathing heavy, which I was seeing the other day and thought, well, maybe they do have have gill flukes still. I'm like, the firefish, but the firefish are constantly fighting. So it may just be stress in their case and I can't catch them to get them out. So they're just going to have to deal with that. I've tried, but it's not, they just dive into the rocks and try to take that rock out and they dive into a new rock and I would have to empty the whole tank. Like that's why I'm really hoping I don't have to medicate or treat them more for flukes too. I don't even know how I would catch them all. I would have to drain the tank pretty much. It would be not fun. So yeah, they're, the firefish I had seen a couple of spots on. And so when they're breathing heavy, both ick and marine velvet can get into the gills and that can suffocate the fish. And so sometimes they'll die before you have any idea the parasite's even there. There's no visual thing. So we typically think of ick or velvet or Brooklyn like having a visual, those white spots or something that you can see externally. But if it targets the gills, you may never see anything. Parasites in our critters is just such a headache. I mean, you guys know too what I've dealt with the red-eye tree frogs. Those parasites, you basically have to become an expert on these in order to keep fish or frogs or whatever else, unless you get super lucky. But even with the red-eye tree frogs, inevitably they will end up with parasites sooner or later. You have to test them regularly. So let's see, do I want to add anything else? Let's pull some blues into this. Let's get the darker areas. But yeah, I'm sorry you're having to deal with that. That is no fun at all. It's so stressful. And every time you see a fish flash, you're like, okay, are you flashing because you're healing? In my case, with the gill flukes, there'll be scabs and such inside the gills that you can't see. So was that heals? But I'm like, okay, it's been long enough. That shouldn't still be happening. So why are the firefish still flashing? I don't know. And then every time the clownfish swim weird. So every time they start swimming weird, I freak out. But that's what clownfish do. So the behavior in a clownfish, if another fish swam the way they did or did the things they did, you're like, oh God, you're dying. But clownfish are just weird the way they swim and kind of rub on stuff. So yeah, the tank is more stress than it's worth. I finally had to hit a point where I realized it was almost like, I don't even want this tank anymore. I'm just stressed. Like I don't have I have to work, and this is taking away from work time. And like I wasn't enjoying my plants. I wasn't enjoying all my other hobbies as much because I was so focused on the tank. And I finally hit a point. I was talking to my friend and I was like, I don't even want it, because she was asking how I was going. I was like, I don't even want the tank at this point. Like, it is just, nothing is going right with it. And once I hit that point where I realized I don't even care if I do or don't have this tank, all of a sudden all the stress was gone. I mean, I'm still going to do my best for all the animals, but I'm also not as stressed out as I was about it, which has been a really huge relief. I'm actually enjoying it more now because I'm responsible for it, but I'm also not stressing myself to death over it. So there we go. Eo says, you're such a good nurse. Thank you. I'm the nurse who no longer cares. That's not true. I care. I'm just not as stressed as I was. I hit that point where I was like, if I were to like rehome, which I'm not going to do, but it's like, it wouldn't be earth shattering. Like, I wouldn't be super upset about it. And once I hit that, I was like, I'm not stressed. Now I can just focus on taking care of them without, I over worry about things. That's my thing. I'm not a normal person. I can stress. Like, if I had a superpower, it would be stressing over things way beyond what the normal person would stress about them. So yeah, I kind of backed off on that, and that has been helping. Christian said, are there any mediums that could slow the drying time of oil paint? I'm curious, since there are oil paints that dry faster compared to others. I can't even imagine a case in where you would be trying to slow it more than it's natural. Like, you'd use linseed oil. I did a painting, and I had that on there so thick, it took months for one layer to dry. I finally put it in the garage because it was like, this is never drying. I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't thin it enough, and it was so thick, and it was not drying at all. I mean, months. You touch it, and it was still just as wet. So I don't know why you would try to make oil paint dry slower. That makes zero sense to me. In what world you would want that, like, at all? Like, how do I make my dog produce more waste for me to pick up? Like, I don't understand why you would try to make that happen. So yeah, different mixing mediums are going to slow at different rates. Linseed oil is going to be a much slower dry time than, say, the faster drying mediums. But there's no world that I could think of that you need a painting to stay wet longer than what you're going to get with linseed oil. So I don't know, maybe somebody designed something to make it dry slower. I wonder if they also designed something to make your dog go to the bathroom more, or create more waste, I should say. Because that makes no sense. Can my dog make more messes? I just don't understand why you would want that. Let's see. Kitsune said, from Lachri Fine Art to Lachri Fine Nursery. Yeah, right? Paul said, is baking paper okay as an alternative to the one you're using now? Baking paper? Oh, I see what you mean. I've not researched it, and I don't know if it's acid-free. Maybe it is, I don't know, because I've been surprised with some things that are actually acid-free that I didn't expect. Like a computer paper is typically acid-free, which I don't know why that surprised me, but it did. Maybe not all of them, but yeah, I don't know, I didn't do the research on it. So this is archival, it is pH neutral, and nothing will stick to it. I don't know, I just haven't done the research, honestly, so I don't know. Natalie said, I'm super lucky that my manager is also an animal person. We've been tag teaming animal drama. Yeah, I'm trying to lessen the drama over here. Good news with the frogs, the deformed little red-eyed tree frogs are doing great. They're up, I don't know if I have 2 males there or 1, but I'm pretty sure the barking this morning was coming from that tank, so hopefully they're boys. Boys bark and the girls don't, and the girls you could have issues where they become egg bound and different things. I would just rather, I like the boys, and they're smaller, so they don't need as big of an enclosure, which is very good in their case because they can't be in a normal vivarium. They're the deformed red-eye tree frogs that I was gifted. If you don't know this story, so I have red-eye tree frogs. There's a breeder that I've worked with or bought from. And I say worked with because we both dealt with the parasites together. But when I ordered this guy here, this is Captain Cookie. He is my favorite frog. Well, no, Glitch is my favorite than him. But he's my little albino, and God, is that frog cute. He's so active. So when I had her ship him, she asked me the night before she was about to ship them or pack them. She's like, would you be interested? Because she knows I've dealt with the health dealing with glitches, special needs and all of that. She's like, would you be interested in 2 special needs red-eye tree frogs? I'm like, what's wrong with them? And she said that one of them can't extend both the legs all the way, and one of them had a deformed spine. I don't think she realized he also couldn't. One of his legs stretches out all the way, one does not. So one is always back here. So it's very hard for them to climb and to have their feet where they should be to stick to the glass real well. So like a lot of times one of them sleeps on the floor. A normal red-eye tree frog, you see that and you're like, oh, you're on your deathbed. Not this guy. This is just their thing. So they can't, I wouldn't put them in a bioactive enclosure because I need to make sure that it's sterile where he's sleeping. I have to be able to clean that constantly since he sleeps in an area that otherwise would be potentially cause bacterial infections. So anyway, she sent me them, and then I had to go through the deworming process again. Let me tell you, the parasites in frogs are just a thing. A very serious thing. Oh, wow. This is a rare occurrence that we should all look at because you don't see this every day. A Faber-Castell lead broken. And what that means is the pencil sharpener I know that has not been working well, it's done. I need a new one. Let's see if I've got a clean one. But, yeah, the little ones, they're doing super well. I actually did not have high hopes for them when I got them. It was one of those things where she was like, she knew as a breeder you have to make hard calls with these frogs, and you wouldn't want to breed a deformed frog. You don't want to pass those genetics on depending on what caused it. And you're technically, and this sounds super harsh, but you're supposed to cull them. Like same thing with fish. If you breed fish and you've got hundreds of fish, you're supposed to remove the ones. In nature would cull them naturally. The fish wouldn't survive. But in our tanks, we're able to keep deformed fish going. So if for breeding practices, you really shouldn't be breeding. That's not a good sharpener. So in her case, she's like, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But I know it's getting to that point where I need to decide because she can't sell them. So I was like, yeah, send them over. So that's how I ended up with 2, and they're adorable. But I still don't know if there's anything internally that might be off with them. Sometimes that happens when there's an external deformity. There may be a deformity internally as well that we can't see. So I don't know how long they'll live, but they're doing really well. Like they've started, they're eating more. They're getting around pretty well. The deformity on the one doesn't seem to be as extreme right now. So I don't know if it's because he's growing, if that's the spinal deformity is not as apparent, or he's put on weight, so that may be hiding it. But yeah, I am pretty excited with how those ones are doing. Purple Frog's doing great. Purple Frog has been weirdly active, still gets blotchy, still kind of swollen. Sometimes he is, sometimes he's not, but I'm surprised he's still with us too. So I'm thinking Purple Frog eventually, I don't know if Purple Frog's issues, I don't know if he's contagious. I don't know what's wrong. No one knows what's wrong with this frog. I've contacted so many experts with red-eyed tree frogs and no one has seen these symptoms. So I don't know if we should, I'm not going to put him with Captain Cookie or with Murky because I know they're healthy. But with the little deformed frogs, I was tempted to let all 3 of them to live together. We'll see how that goes. I haven't made that call yet. They're all still in hospital tanks because, well, they all have their issues. But they're doing well, and that makes me excited. The sound is glitching? Okay, Marty's is fine. I can say, oh my god, that sharpener is a killer. I know. If you heard a polychromos, you know that sharpener is just That is an extreme not good sharpener. Paul said, it's like in Loki, you have to prune the bad variants. I can't see anything about that without spoilers. Let's see. NH Chicky had one of those days, was it Wednesday, hit me really, well, I mean, some of the stuff I had seen was horrible to see, or sad stuff in the news and stuff, but yeah, I had one of those days where I was just like, I'm just gonna cry. I'm gonna see anything and just cry. Those are not fun days. But also, I guess it means we're not sociopaths, right? We have the emotions. And then you have to turn off the news. So we're just defining a few of these a bit better, and then we are going to move on to the frog. Which, after all this frog talk, I'm kind of excited for. This put me in the frog drawing mood. And some of this is stuff like values-wise. I may adjust later once everything's drawn in where I can better judge, okay, something needs to be lighter. Like right now, I'm not really even looking at my reference photo. I'm just looking at mine, deciding what would make my piece look better. Like, is something standing out more than it should or not standing out enough? So we use these reference photos, but we also need to have some freedom from them too to make choices as an artist. What is going to make our work look better? So when we have a good reference photo, use it, yes. But at some point, you have to be willing to make changes when you're like, you know, this part looks a little weird. Maybe if I adjusted this a little bit, even though it does make it different than the reference photo, it can make for a better art piece, which you definitely need to be doing. So reference photos are important, but don't be afraid to make changes to make your artwork better. Paul said, there are some days I have to lower the volume of the music I enjoy. I have a hard time. I want to keep earplugs in like more often. Why does my head itch? Did I get bitten? But like stop scratching your head. See, I yell at the bad cow for scratching, and here I am doing it. Oh, or it was the cheap shampoo I used. Never mind. Just figured out why my like having itchy. It's probably a dry spot on my scalp because I used cheap shampoo. This is what happens. Do not use herbal essences. Their essence, whatever it is. That stuff is not good for your hair or your scalp in this case. Anyway, sorry, TMI. Yeah, no, earplugs. I like the silence sometimes where I'm like, I just don't want to hear anything in the world. I don't want to hear even my own footsteps. I just love that, like, muted everything. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Joseph said, I guess that makes me a sociopath. I've never had a day like that. Maybe you just watch less news than me, or news stories. I don't really watch the news because I don't have TV, but that could be the case too. I don't know. You do have a cat though, which makes you questionable. Okay, I'm going to leave him where he's at. And I'm probably going to randomly, as I'm working, come through and make little adjustments. But I think that's good enough for now. I do think I'm going to want more white highlights and stuff. Let's pull a few out now. I may hold off and see what it looks like when everything else is together to see how many. No, this is good. I'm using my Pablos, my white Caran d'Ache Pablos for this because it's got a higher wax content and so it makes it very opaque. It's also super skinny, so it shows up really well on sanded paper. I don't like it so much on hot press watercolor paper. I've not been a huge fan of the Pablos, but on sanded paper for final details, I do really like them. Not enough to buy a whole set. Well, that and too many of the colors are not Lightfast, so that's an issue. But you would think that being that they have Caran d'Ache, which are the luminance, which are all Lightfast, you'd think they'd make Pablos more. But it's not a pencil that really works well for my techniques normally, but I do like it. Like in this case, just pulling out a few highlights, really making those areas stand out more. I don't know if I like that. It's on this one though. I liked it here. I might have to go back with blue instead. We'll see. Okay, I like it more now that I'm adding more of it. Sometimes when it's only in one spot, it doesn't look right, but then you go through and start adding it in other locations and it suddenly looks like it makes sense. Let's see. Joseph said, I have 9 cats. Very questionable. You have 9 cats? Well, that says something about your sociopath level. Kidding. Paul said, who still watches stuff on regular TV? Who even has regular TV? George said, I'm joining late today. I finished artwork 2 days ago, so I'll be chilling and listening today. Nice. Welcome. Hi, Tarsissio. I'm proud. I can't butcher your name every time. Marty has 12 cats. Oh my gosh. Look at all the sociopaths in our group. I'm like how I am what was the word? Psychologist or psychology expert, and how I diagnose sociopath or someone being a sociopath is the amount of cats you have. It's not a scientific method, but I'm going with it. It's easy to say I don't have cats. You named a cat Blackie? It's a little basic, Joseph. You're an artist. I expect more creativity from you. Okay. I'm going to scooch you over a bit. It's kind of like way out of the way for me to reach this frog. Io said, I'm not so bad. I have 3 cats. I had a dream I got 2 cats the other day. I think it was from you guys always talking about cats. It was a cute cat. And I remember in the dream trying to figure out how I was going to keep it from eating my plants and how to keep Bad Cow from eating the cat. Okay. So this photo that I'm using, I really like the angle, but I'm going to need to do a lot of changes on the lighting. So let's just start. Actually, I need to scooch this over so I can rest my hand on it. Ali said, it's weird how the brightest and colorful frogs are poisonous. The golden poison frog is the most poisonous. Death will occur in less than 10 minutes as it stops the heart and nerves. Do you have to eat it for that to happen? I have poison dart frogs, so they're called poison dart frogs, but they're actually not poisonous in captivity. Most frogs are not poisonous in captivity, most that I know of. Maybe not all of them. Maybe I only know about dart frogs. That's entirely possible. I have 3 Lucamilla dart frogs. I was actually watching them right before this. I've been watering their tank, or over misting their tank lately, I think. I was trying to get the moss to grow more, so I got more fungus gnats than usual. They're in there nomming away on the fungus gnats. I'm like, hey, that works. I just provided you with free food. Paul says, excited for Halloween. I'm excited because Halloween weekend is on, or Aquashella is Halloween weekend. So assuming everything goes well, I will be at Aquashella that weekend. I need to find some assistants to help me with my booth, or an assistant to help me with my booth, because my husband will probably be asleep. I think he's going to drop me off, but then I'm by myself all day. So any fish reef keepers in Texas, let me know. Okay, what is going on here? You are the knee. You're part of the octopus. Wait, no, you're not. The elbow, this is the knee, is up here. This is part of the foot. That's part of the knee. So this little guy, little fun facts about him. This is Captain Cookie. Captain Cookie, on a regular basis, does not shed quite right, and I have to soak him in a container. It says not beans on it because my husband has used that container to fill it with beans, even though it has a hole cut out for putting the frog in. Anyway, now his soaking dish says not beans on it. But, see if I go more purples here. Yeah, he had to be soaked the other night forever. It took forever. He gets on his little knees right here where when he sheds, it just gets stuck and then it works like a tourniquet. So yeah, that has been an ongoing thing. This is way more yellow than on your, mine looks much more pale than what you're seeing. Joseph said, we took in 3 litters of kittens once, all black cats, 16 in total. You trying to come up with 16 names for black cats and not use Blackie? I can do it. That's hilarious. Lori Booth said, I have regular TV, had to scale back for a while. Not sure I want to upgrade again. Have more time for other things. Well, I don't have cable either. I have no TV. Like, there is no TV in my house. I can watch YouTube. Like, we have nothing there. Like, I just can't justify paying for something that we're almost never going to use. And it is crazy expensive. I don't know how you rich people afford that. Remember when you could get regular channels for free? Now you pay to have mostly advertisements. I don't understand the justification there. Nick said, Joe L asks, what is your opinion about Derwent Lightfast pencils? They're awesome. I actually have some here I will be using on later layers, but they're absolutely wonderful, wonderful pencils. The consistency, like, I don't use it on the base layer here because while they are listed as an oil-based pencil, they do have a higher wax content than the Faber-Castell polychromos, so they don't work as well for blending with powder blender. But on like a hot press watercolor paper or for later layers here, I really do like them. Wonderful, wonderful pencils. I need to fix because it's weird because this color looks right to me. He looks way too dark. Well, my hand does too. The yellows are coming out like way oversaturated. So let's see if I can make that look a little bit closer. With the brightness? No, brightness is not fixing anything. Let's drop the saturation down a bit. But that doesn't really work either because that's the wrong color. Maybe, nope, that's the wrong direction there. Yeah, I think we have, for some reason, the yellows at these settings want to be super like, well, my hands are, well, that's a little bit better. Still like me, if I had an actual, if I ever saw the sun, that's what I would look like. I don't see the sun. Who goes outside? Yeah, this is kind of a weird. Yeah, I guess that's what it's a little bit closer, not a lot. Mine's way more pale. Anyway. Sorry, oh, we got that. Paul said, is Instagram a dying platform? God, I hope so, because Facebook bought it out. It was an amazing platform before Facebook got their hands on it. Facebook ruins everything. It's been relentless in its insistence that it's looking to help small business and creators grow on the app. Okay, I love this subject. I'm sure they do want us to grow on the app. They want to get us hooked, so we're like, I have 30,000 followers, which I think I have like 30, 31, something like that on there. And that number sounds amazing. This is what Facebook did. Facebook, in the earlier days of the business app, so this is good marketing advice. Be aware of that. Instagram is Facebook. They own it. Instagram used to be amazing. So Facebook had a big thing. They wanted your business to grow on their platform. And you could pay to advertise to get more followers. Facebook, they lied about the way they did this. Most of your followers in this case, so let's say I'm in the US and I want to sell just locally to other people in the US for shipping reasons or whatever else. You could set that you only wanted to advertise to people in the US. You know where most of those followers were coming from? Paid bots from India. Now, I am not bashing, because someone will always get offended if you bring up geography for some reason. I'm not bashing India. The thing is, I don't ship to India. I can't because of logistics and the shipping costs and all that. I don't ship to India. So it made no business sense for me to want to advertise to India. Like, that doesn't make sense. Facebook claimed they did not do that. Yet we have video after video proof they absolutely did. You were paying to get followers from India, so it looked like, oh my gosh, I'm getting all these new followers. These were not followers who were going to interact with your page. They were not followers interested in your page. They were followers who were paid. They had some kind of a scheme set up where they were paid to click that follow button to add to your numbers, so you felt you were really growing, you're really getting this traction. So that was something dirty Facebook did. Now you can write that off as, oh, they're just bad at their job. Fine, whatever. I call BS because they're really good at algorithm. They know how to work an algorithm, but okay. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. What difference does it make? We paid money. I did not, but I know lots who did. We paid money to build a following. Their whole thing was build a following, get likes, get more followers. Back then, it wasn't followers. I think it was fans. They called it something else. They changed it, but they wanted you to build. That was their big thing. You can build a business on Facebook. So we built that business. And then what did they do? Once they got enough of us hooked, because we've got all these followers, we got these numbers, they were sharing our content with all of these people, whether or not they were for the geographic location that was useful to your business or not was a whole other issue. So let's say you had a restaurant in Texas. I don't need to advertise to India. I don't want to advertise to California. That makes no sense. Like, so that was very dirty that Facebook was doing it and charging people, still going, well, we got you followers. Yeah, but I specifically said I wanted this location. So that was bad. Then you get your followers. Let's let that go. Push that to the side. We get our followers. Then Facebook started introducing you could pay to promote to your followers. So they would go, you know, let's say 70% of your followers used to see your post. They dropped it to 50, then to 20. I don't remember what the actual numbers were, but there were certain numbers that were kind of announced, like this is how many of your followers will see it unless you pay to promote. And they've dropped it now 3 freaking percent. 3% or less will ever see your content if you do not pay to advertise. And this was a dirty marketing scheme. I don't know if they came up with this in the first place before like Facebook, like from the beginning, this was their plan, or if it just evolved into this made sense for them financially. They wanted to make more money. So they put advertisements on our content. They need to make money too. I get that. It is not cheap to run a platform like that. 100%, they absolutely should be making money. However, they're double dipping, and I don't like the way they do it. They want, like with YouTube, I could pay to advertise if I want to get more viewers, but their thing is they pay me for the ads on my content. Facebook runs ads that I don't get money for. If you see an ad on my content, which I don't upload there anymore anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but let's say I posted a video and there was an ad on it, I don't see any of that. But if I want more people to see the video that has their ad that they make money for, I have to pay. So I'm paying and have an ad. That makes no, like, it's shady. I don't like the business practice, so I'm not going to be part of it anymore. I won't upload anything. You're not making money off my content anymore. So anyway, that rant over. That is why I do not trust Instagram either. It's Facebook. It's this. They're going to do the same thing. So build a following. We really care about small business. We really care about creators. We want you to change to a business account. They really push that one. And once you switch to a business account, no one saw your content anymore because now they're like, oh, you might be making money. You got to pay us. Now, even if, let's say you are a nonprofit organization like the Greyhound Group, you have a dog rescue, a cat rescue for those of you who are sociopaths. I'm funny. But let's say you had a rescue like that. You have to pay to advertise that rescue or no one's going to see it. So, and you don't have money to pay for ads, obviously. So it's really bad the way that they have set up this business and the way that they run it. And this is why I hope they both fail. I hope Facebook, I hope Instagram burns because they are ineffective for they're not good for business. MeWe, on the other hand, if I post on MeWe, I may only have 1,700 people following me, but all 1,700 can see it. I post to 31, 33,000, whatever it is on Facebook, and less than 1,000 will see it. That doesn't, why would I continue with Facebook? And why would I even consider paying to advertise with this company? They keep hurting our company. So what we need are our businesses. As artists, it's bad. Creators, I think, are going to make the biggest impact. We all need to move to MeWe or whatever other platform we choose. Right now, I think MeWe's the best. Will it be the end all? I don't know. I do like it for right now. It's got some flaws, some bugs that they have fixed a lot of previous bugs, but we need more people going to platforms like MeWe. And this is what's frustrating to me. How many people, well, my friends and family are here. Yeah, and they say the same thing about you. Everyone says that because everyone won't leave. Like if people start leaving, people will start following. At least start duplicating your content onto these other platforms and I do hope Facebook and Instagram burn because they are horrible. They're horrible for many reasons. Every time I open Facebook to like see, okay, I want to go on a walk. Are there any stray dogs running loose again? I need to know so I know to avoid those streets. Let's say I log in onto Facebook. All I'm seeing are negative because Facebook's algorithm promotes that negativity. I know this is not your question, but I think it's important. Facebook, you open it and you leave the app feeling pissed off. Tell me that's not what happens. I open TikTok and it's curated stuff, and I'm not saying TikTok's the end all either at all, but I open TikTok, I open MeWe, I don't feel that way. I'm like, oh, I saw cool stuff that I'm interested in seeing. The stuff I follow, I actually see. Whereas Facebook's like, what? You want to see frog posts? Too bad. We've decided you're going to watch another argument between your family members because they're being super nasty to each other. I don't want to see that. Facebook doesn't care. And it's not even like, well, it came up on the feed because that would come up on the feed on MeWe as well. Yeah, but it's not constantly pushed to the top. If there's drama on Facebook, it is constantly pushed to the top. I can't talk. Push to the top of your feed. I don't want to see that crap. And they force that. And then they do the same thing with Instagram. They're like, well, drama, more comments. That means more, drama creates more comments, which gets boosted on the feed. It's a negative experience. It is not good for our mental health. It is not good for our business. It is not good for anything. And until we start migrating to other platforms, they're just going to keep being in control. We just have to start leaving. We have to stop with this whole attitude. Well, my friends and family are all there. If your friends and family actually care about you, maybe they'll follow you to MeWe. If they don't, maybe that's something you should consider too. Or just text them. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, there's my rant. I know I'm probably just pissed off all the pro Facebook. Oh my God, Facebook's my God. I must worship at the altar of the alien man, whatever his name is. So anyway, okay, I'm done. Seriously, done now. But yeah, I'm really hoping that Instagram it's the same thing. I would not put in any effort. So I guess I'm not done. I would not put in effort to build my business with a company who has already shown us what they do when you put in the effort to build your business on their platform. It's the same thing. They're going to do the same thing that they did with Facebook because it is Facebook. Okay, seriously now. Allie said, following from the golden poison frog is that there is no cure for it. What is your favorite poisonous flower? Mine is the iris and foxglove. I never knew that lilies are toxic. Most are fairly toxic. I don't know that I have a favorite toxic. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I mean, no chewing, bad cow. I know. He's an itchy boy because you laid in the grass yesterday, huh? Sorry, baby talk to the dog. I should stop. I don't know. It's a good question. I'll get back to you on that if I remember. Let's see. Maybe not all platforms are for all people. And that is absolutely fair. Yes. If you like what Facebook, I'm not saying you're promoting Facebook, but if you like the way Facebook promote, maybe you like all the go for it. Let's see. Dennis said, what kind of fixative do you recommend for white charcoal on black paper? I like the Spectrafix is my favorite. It doesn't it doesn't affect it doesn't make it darker as much as other fixatives. It's very, very minor, the color shift. So definitely Spectrafix is my favorite. But Spectrafix, I should specify this. Spectrafix, you guys taught me this. Get a fine mist sprayer. Just look up fine mist sprayer on Amazon. This is what you want to put that in, and that will keep it from having these heavy droplets. But that's what I go with. Real light layers, though. Don't like spray the crap out of it. It's better to do a light layer, let it dry, come back, another really light layer. Less is better. Always err on the side of less. My wool charcoal, I recently overdid it and had to take a hairdryer to dry it because it warped the paper. I put it on too heavy. Christian said, would you ever have a collaboration with Arteza? Hell no. Their products seem a bit too questionable. So here's man, you guys are bringing up all the rants today. You're like, we were bored on Wednesday's live stream. Let's get Lisa ranting. So Arteza, no, it's cheap Chinese crap. These are not products that are going to be archival over time. Like, some colors may be Lightfast in their products just based on some colors are naturally Lightfast. They're not producing quality, and not just Arteza, and I always say that wrong, so I apologize. Someone's going to correct me. Go for it. Their products are, my stomach's making weird gurgly sounds. I think there's a dinosaur in here. But their products are very much, they'll say that they're Lightfast or high, I'm trying to think how they word it. Highly, I don't know, fade resistant, or I don't remember how they word theirs. But a lot of these companies come up and claim that they're Lightfast with no Lightfast ratings. They didn't do testing. And I've had people argue, yeah, they did. No, they didn't. I contacted the company. They did not do any testing. Testing is very expensive. Their products are very cheap. I am all for anything that gets someone into art. So if that's what you get to start off to practice, go for it. I am not against that. But if you're an artist who is going to sell your work, this is not, no, I do not trust them. And I also really think the company themselves are fairly dirty, just in my interactions with them. So they have been contacting me, wanting me like every other YouTuber to promote them. So they don't do there are a few different options when someone hires you to do a paid sponsorship. So like, let's say I do something for Derwent. They just provide me with the material. I let you know they provided me with those materials, and then I review the product. But I will tell you everything I think is positive or negative. I am very open and free to tell you what I like and dislike. I would not do a review where I couldn't tell you the negatives. That's dirty to me. I wouldn't want to watch that video. I'm not doing it to anyone else. So those are typically what I do. Another company may actually say, hey, we're going to give you $500, $200, depends on the channel, how many videos it gets, all that, there's variables. We're going to give you a set amount of money if you do an actual advertisement for this product. That's another valid way, but you let the viewer know this is an ad, this is a paid advertisement. I don't know if I've ever done those. No, I don't think I have. So I've been doing YouTube for so long. I'm looking back in the early days. I don't think I did any of those. But anyway, then the other option is what Arteza is doing, and there's probably more than that. But Arteza is like, hey, we're going to give you an affiliate code, and for every product of ours you sell, you make money. They're incentivizing the artist to have a reason to push their product, and that to me starts getting into, like, I like affiliate links. I have that for Amazon anyway for products that I recommend. I think everything in my video description should be an Amazon affiliate link. However, it gets to the point where they're encouraging the creator, the YouTuber, to push their product whether they like it or not, because that's how you're going to make money. You're not making money just because like I'm paying you for an advertisement. They're like, your income is based off commission, essentially. I don't like it. And I don't necessarily judge another artist who chooses to do it. For me and my business, no. And so when they contact me, sorry, itchy eye. Apparently I got the cheap herbal essence in my eyes too. But when they contacted me, I asked them a few questions. I didn't like their answers. I stopped communication. Well, apparently that wasn't good enough for them. So there was one live stream I had done and somebody asked a question about, it was acrylic paints, I believe. You know, oh, what brush would you use for this case? Arteza then goes into my comment section, starts recommending their paint. Oh, we recommended this paint. We recommend this and that. And it came across like, I don't know, it almost looked like I was also encouraging that. Like a company that I would work with would do that. This was, like if Derwent came into my chat on a product and answered questions, that would make sense. I work with Derwent. I don't, like, it was so, I had to block their company because they were answering and pushing their crap on my viewers without my, like, it was such a dirty business. I have no respect for that company. I don't have respect for the crap. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I have a little bit of respect that they're creating a cheap product that can be the entry level for some artists. Whatever gets someone into art, that I am all for. But as a professional artist, I mean, I'm pushing professional quality stuff that you could sell. That's the goal of my channel. So pushing something that is not archival just doesn't really, you know, I guess you can make prints out of their stuff though. I do that with Instagram. See, I like to play devil's advocate on both sides of the argument. So it's like, I mean, I guess in that sense, you could be a professional and still use their stuff for prints. That would be fine. So anyway, for me, it didn't make sense and I didn't like how they handled trying to almost poach my viewers, like to get, I don't know, to push. It was just bad. I was not thrilled with them. So no, I will not do anything with or for that company. I do not like them. I do not respect them. Dennis said, what kind of fixative do you... Okay, I got that one. I got that one. Rhonda said, on Facebook, my husband sees posts from my friends and family that he doesn't follow, but I do. So frustrating. Gosh. Dee said, rent appreciated. My family are all on Facebook. My sister thinks it is God. I post my art there and hardly any family members acknowledge it. So why do we do it? Your experience is very similar to what most is. And I'm like, I just don't. And it, to be fair, they may not even be seeing your post that often because that's what Facebook does. If there's no drama involved, they're not going to show people. So you've got two parts there. One is that your family, because I had the same thing. My family would see it. I'd ask them, I'm like, yeah, they saw it. You couldn't even hit the like button. But you have that side, but you also have the side that Facebook's like, oh, no drama. I'm not sharing unless you pay to promote. Yeah, Tasha said, I don't like Facebook, so I don't go to it. Easy peasy, no rant necessary. Yeah, that's kind of what I started doing this winter when that happened where they banned the account. It was a good wake-up call. This doesn't hurt my business. I'm not benefiting from using them. Now, some people do have their business wrapped up in a way that it does benefit them to be on Facebook. But for me, I realized when I stopped using them, I didn't lose any business. It didn't make any difference because no one saw it anyway. That was a huge, this is going to be super ugly what we leave with on this guy today, just because I'm just blocking out what we're going to blend out. But yeah, it was like, why am I using this? Why am I spending the time? I would rather spend my time either making videos and content for YouTube. I would rather spend my time on MeWe. That was really where I started focusing, which is where I post most of my stuff. I would rather spend my time focusing, like now I've been enjoying making TikTok videos and YouTube shorts. Same thing. Well, kind of the same thing. I'm making it the same content and just uploading it to both. But yeah, I definitely like better those platforms. And so that's what I'm using. And I thought like, oh, I'm going to miss seeing stuff from my family and friends. And there are some things that I certainly do miss. I mean, I have the fake account so that I can see what's going on in my neighborhood. Like, is there a dog loose? Or like when power went out the other day, it's like, crap, did my account get screwed up somehow because my initial payment didn't go through? I always transfer money when I private here, TMI time, random story that has nothing to do with this, but I always transfer money before I pay the bills because if I leave bill money in my joint bank account, my husband's like, oh, we have money, I can buy more comics. So I learned years ago, it's kept in a separate account, and then I transfer it into that account right before I pay the bill, before he can spend it. So he doesn't like pay attention to any of that. So that was our solution, and it kept us from murdering each other. It's been a great solution. However, I set up automatic thing last month for my electric bill, and I forgot to transfer. Normally I know to pay that day. I get a notification and I pay and I transfer. Well, it came out, but I hadn't transferred yet. So I have to cancel the automatic payment thing because I'm never, ever going to remember to transfer in advance. And I don't know if they charge a fee when that didn't go through initially. So anyway, moving on. I went ahead and paid immediately. Like I logged in, transferred the money, went ahead and paid it. And it went through, but I'm thinking when the power went out the next day, I'm like, oh crap, did it not credit the account? Like, did it screw something up, being that there was that discrepancy? So yeah, it wasn't. It was the entire neighborhood. And so there are certain things like, I'm not going to get that on MeWe, unfortunately, because I'm not getting, the neighbors are not moving. That's just annoying. But where was it going with that story? Oh, there are certain things that I did like, I missed out on. I didn't get to see the sale. I only logged in today because I logged in to see what their hours were, to check for the fish place. And I saw they're having a sale. I miss out on some stuff like that. And really, these businesses, I think, are going to have to learn they're losing business because of it too. Like, it would be better, like Aqua Studios, they should have at least an email newsletter or a website I can check on. It shouldn't all be on Facebook. And I think a lot of these businesses are hurting themselves because eventually more and more people are bleeding out of Facebook. We're done. So many of us are done with it. It was just a fluke that I happened to check that today to check hours. But I normally don't look into Facebook, so I wouldn't even have seen there was a sale. I wouldn't have bothered to go in. I actually have to go in either way. I have to pick up some filter cartridges for my RODI unit. But anyway, I pre-ordered them. But a lot of these businesses, I think, and that's something that we should take into account. That doesn't look good. Let's go with yellow. A lot of the businesses need to start taking into account that not everyone is on Facebook. I mean, less and less all the time, I would say, because so many people are leaving the platform, where a lot of people are sick of the way that Facebook does stuff, of not seeing what you want to see. That's a huge one. That is huge. Like, I used to follow like Nate's, what was it? Nate's, it's a raw honey company, in case they ever had coupons or something. I don't know if they ever do, because I don't see their posts. I followed a lot of companies, and if you go to their page, you're like, oh, they post all the time. I've never seen a single thing from them on my own timeline, ever, in years. You used to. Okay, so I shouldn't say you have never seen a single thing. You used to back in like 2012. A few years go by, I have not seen a single thing since. There were a lot of companies, like there was one, the Laura bars used to do giveaways and on their thing, and I wanted to see what they had to give away. I want to win Laura bars. You don't see them anymore. I've not seen anything from them in years. You would think I unfollowed them. I didn't. But if you don't comment on a post, then Facebook's like, oh, you must not be interested. What? Who's not interested in coupons? I want to know. But yeah, I think a lot of people are leaving, and a lot of businesses ourselves included, need to realize we need to look at alternatives. Now, I guess the same can be said. No one's looking on MeWe for my stuff, but I've got alternatives. I've got an email newsletter. I've got YouTube. I've got my own website. And a lot of these other places, like the fish store I was talking about, they don't have that. And that is a problem. You need to have things that are under your control. You need to have an email newsletter for your business. You need to have a website for your business. Those two things are absolute musts, because we do not control social media. We don't control when Facebook decided to stop sharing our content with the people who chose to follow us. So they were like, build your business on our platform. And we did. And then they took it away unless you paid. And no one would see your stuff anymore. If they know to go to my website, if they signed up for my email newsletter, they're going to get that content whether I'm on Facebook or not. And so I think that that's very important. It's a good lesson for us as business owners. We need to have our content in other places, and especially that we can control. Email newsletter, website. Let's see. George said, I have to stick with Facebook because there are some people on there I wouldn't communicate with otherwise, long distance friends, but I will give MeWe another try. You know what? How good of friends? This is what I had to ask myself. So I'm not judging you and your friends. I'm judging me and my friends. How good of friends were they? If they themselves talk about hating Facebook, but none of them will join MeWe, were they even like, I don't feel like I missed anything. Yeah, there are plenty of friends from like high school, people I've known for years, that I just don't talk to anymore, because I didn't really talk to them that much on Facebook, but that was the only time I saw content from them. But it was like, there was no one-on-one personal experience with most of them. My best friend Chris, she joined over at MeWe. Shows you who your friends are, right? Who is willing to want to stay in contact with you. And mostly in her case, we used to text, but her phone's not been getting text. So that's how we talk more now. But this is how, I don't know. It was, I guess those questions that you have to ask yourself, there were questions I had to ask myself. There were friends, because I use that excuse too. This is where my friends are. This is where really? Are they won't talk to me outside of Facebook? Then they're not, are they my friend? Like, I don't know. Questions to ask yourself. Let's see. Because they were questions I asked myself. I guess that's why I'm saying it. It's not so much me being judgy to you. They were questions I had to answer for myself. Christian said, have you tried the Frederick's canvas pads? I have. I like them for practice, but I wouldn't do them. I don't like pads of canvas. I like stuff that's stretched that somebody can just throw on the wall and hang right now, or throw in a frame and hang right now. So the canvas pads, I don't like those as much for painting, because it's not like, you can't just throw it in an open frame or just hang it on the wall as is. You would have to re-stretch it. It's kind of a pain if you were to sell it. So I don't like it for anything I'm going to sell. I love them for quick demonstrations and practice. Actually, I have one right here. This was a demo I did showing people. So, wrong thing. There we go, in my face. The bear, this one was a white canvas pad I had to paint black. But they have it in white and black. I actually like their black ones better. But I really like them for practice. They're the equivalent, I would say, of like the red label. So they've got a little bit more tooth. Well, a decent amount more tooth than you would get from like the blue label, which I prefer less tooth. But for something where I'm just doing a quick practice, quick demonstration, I find that to be more practical. Although yesterday's demonstration was on a watercolor canvas board. So I don't always make that choice. But yeah, no, they're actually really good for just figuring out. Let's say you're having trouble with a mop brush. Get yourself a canvas pad and practice on those, and you just keep repainting the same one over and over again. No, they're really good for that. I do like them, but for specific purposes. Lori said, well, come back. Lori said, planning a piece with a background in Inktense and the subject in colored pencil. Would you use Inktense paper or Lightfast paper? I've never used either. If it were me, I'd be using Arches Hot Press watercolor paper. I've never used either of those papers. I don't know. I need to contact Derwent and have them send them to me. And Joseph, I've never chatted with peeps. They're all marshmallowy and weird. I don't think the peeps are as weird as you are. Also, by the way, it is Joseph's birthday. Everyone should tell him happy birthday today. Like, sing songs in chat for him. Paul said, Facebook security is pathetic. I got a suspicious activity notification for the second time in a year where they make you upload a photo and make you wait while they verify it. That is creepy. I'm not swearing. Creepy as poop. That is what they made me do to get my account back. I think that they cancel accounts and do that to force you to have to give them information for tracking purposes. What they're doing with that, I don't know. That sounds super conspiracy theory-like, but why else do they need that? Because you just have to ask yourself some questions. Let's see. And he said, you can talk to me. I shall be your marshmallow. See, there you go, Joseph. And she's weird. Okay. You know how I knew it was Joseph's birthday? MeWe. They gave you notifications. I love that. I really like the MeWe platform, if you can't tell. Okay, let's blend. Actually, I'm going to get his little orange feet in first. I do not have to. Yes, I do. Here it is. Christian said, have you tried painting on primed paper? Also, what is your favorite primer for preparing your canvas? So I don't typically have to use a gesso on my canvas. If I do, I use the Liquitex gesso. I don't have any over here, but Liquitex gesso is the one that I typically go with. Honestly, it's not because I've tried a bunch of them and this is the best. It's because it's convenient to buy it at the art store. So that is actually, no, I just buy it from Blick. I rarely buy art supplies from an art store because most of them don't care. All the local stuff like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, all of them started pushing their generic crap more than the name brand stuff. So I normally just buy it, or online now. You don't want to carry the stuff I want to buy? I don't have to shop at your shop anymore. I will buy online. But anyway, where was I going with that story? Oh, so that is why I bought it, just because it's convenient. I've used it for years. It's never failed me. I have no complaints, no reason to test out or try all the other, because there are other ones, and I'm sure that, like, I'm sure anything Golden's makes, I would definitely trust. Yeah, but anyway, I go with the Liquitex Gesso, and I own Gesso canvas. All of my canvas, the Fredericks ones that I use, they all come pre-primed, so I don't Gesso them unless I have the Convexo canvases, the big round ones that I love so much, and the Convexo come in different shapes, but the round ones are my favorites. If I want to use those are really, really rough. It's a heavyweight canvas, super, super rough, very bumpy texture. So then I'm going to put like 2 to 3 coats of gesso on it, let it dry, and then sand it to a fine finish. That is going to be the only time that I'm going to need to gesso anything. Other than that, all my stuff comes pre-primed. Yeah, Tara says happy 21st birthday, Joseph. Yes, happy 21st. So I'm just going to go flat orange. So one of the questions that people will regularly ask is about color. I need to know what color pencil you're using, what color paint, whatever. No, you don't, because here, this is technically a correct color. It'll work, but that doesn't look good. It's about your values, your shading. Dark's dark enough, light's light enough. That's what's going to make a difference in your work, not the perfect color. I will say, though, don't shade this with black. I'm going to be shading it with purple. Little feets. I love tog froze. Frog toes. They're so cute. Okay, let's go ahead and blend that with our powder blender. Paul said, did you know Liquitex Basics is the acrylic for you? Kind of by the same token of, it was convenient. It's what Michaels used to carry when I first started with painting. So my first experience with acrylics was in high school, and they used Blick paints. But back then, we're in the 90s. You didn't really have the internet there was the internet. I didn't have it. Not everyone had it at the time. It wasn't something I could conveniently go and buy Blick paint. And so that's all I used. That's what I wanted, because that was what I had experience with. So I went to Michaels, and they had the Liquitex Basics were the cheapest they had. I was broke. I mean, minimum wage. What was minimum wage at the time? Like $4.25. I made no money. So I bought Liquitex Basics because that's what was there and what was cheap. They didn't have their own name brand, like whatever. I didn't know anything about Lightfastness at the time. I was lucky all the colors I used were. But yeah, and they carried Fredericks canvases at the time. Now they are mostly their generic stuff. So I was lucky that I kind of fell into that. But that's how I started. And I think because I used Liquitex Basics for so many years, I developed techniques and methods with that paint, or like my techniques were built around the paint I was used to working with. I figured out how to make it work. So a lot of people have a hard time with the basics. The basics are very translucent. I like to glaze. I layer in a way that builds a lot of depth, and Liquitex Basics are the best in my experience for that. They also have a fairly matte finish, so when I want to use a transfer paper, or I want to use charcoal pencil to sketch stuff out, it shows up. Whereas let's say I use Liquitex Heavy Body or Liquitex Soft Body, those have a higher gloss to them. Those don't stick very well. They don't show up as well. They kind of do, but not as well as on Basics. Plus, they're more opaque. I don't want more opaque. I like translucent. If I want something opaque, I'm going to paint it white and then go on top. So my techniques developed around the paint that I had available to me at the time. And it really is as simple as that. I'm really glad. I mean, I think I was kind of lucky that they did not have, what do I need with this? That they didn't have nope, that's titanium white. That is not powder blender. Where is my powder blender? I lost my powder blender. There it is. I was kind of lucky that, because I would have, if it was available, if generic is what they had, it was cheaper, that's what I would have gone with at the time. That's all I had the money for. So I'm glad that they didn't, because I'm glad that the paint that I was using was a quality paint. I just molded my technique to that paint. That's a good question though. Nick said, I'm pretty sure if Facebook wanted a 360-degree photo shot of my face, my account with them would end with a 360-degree photo of my right hand, middle finger extended. Yeah, in my case, it was like, it's my business. I just lost access to my business account. That was a big deal. Like, what do you do? And at the time, I'm like, plus in my case, with the videos I make, I mean, my info's out there. I'm not like hiding anything. But the other thing I don't like, they also want our driver's license. You can't now use names. Some people that had it from before are able to do it, but they're still going through and making people change it. You can't use fake names anymore. I'm sorry, there are privacy concerns there. There are reasons somebody may not want their real name used. They've got stalkers, or let's say they're an actual celebrity. I'm not saying I'm a celebrity, but let's say they're an actual celebrity. They may not want their real info. They may want something more private. And Facebook is taking away that ability. So they want everyone accountable for the comments they leave on Facebook. You're just going to delete them anyway if you don't like them. So I don't understand what? So much of what they claim doesn't make sense. Like, if A equals B, and I don't know, 1 + 1 = 2, but they're like, no. 1 + 1 is like 800. No, that's not how math works. And I feel like so much of what their explanation for why they do things does not make sense. There's no logic behind it. And for some freaking reason, everyone's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You're an idiot. But it does not make sense. But in this case, I think they're full of crap when they're like, oh, it's for your security. You won't let me have security. You won't let me have privacy on that platform. So anyway, and actually even having a separate account, I have my fake account for my neighborhood group because I don't want people knowing where I live. That is a violation of Facebook's policy. Wait, stop. Wait. But, good boy. They're what they claim, but what they do not line up. They don't make sense. But like I said, in my case, I'm thinking at the time, like I use that for my business so much. And it took a few days to realize, no, I don't, like there's no need for it. So I went ahead and posted it. And I had to think about that for a bit before I did it. But it was like, my info's out there right now anyway. If I was like a normal citizen, I don't think I would have done it. Yeah, dirty company. It's too bad because I think they have the potential to really do a lot of good, and they've got the technology to do good and make the world a better place. Well, not make the world a better place, make it not a worse place. That's what they're doing. I feel like they're making it a worse place, a worse environment, because they do promote so much negativity. That's the posts that get pushed are the posts that are more dramatic and negative. Let's see. Paul said, and is that even ethical to upload your identification card or on a social media platform? Oh, they also, I think the social media, your social security card was another thing they want. Now, I've seen people have to give that information and still did not get, that's the fun thing. They had you give that information, and some people have said they still did not get their account back. Like they got hacked or whatever, and they still didn't give them that. Why did I give, and that was the thing that made me so mad when they did the 360 thing on my face. Once I did it, they said, no, we'll let you know. It wasn't even a guarantee that I was going to get my account back. Then why would I have to do this? What was the point? You said it was for everyone's safety and security, yet you have if someone pays for it, there are still ads today that were ran a year ago. Same ad going that is a scam. You will most likely never get the item, and if you do, it is not what they advertise, and they remove anyone who, they claimed that it was a product sold out of San Diego, California, because I wouldn't order things overseas. I wouldn't order it from China, especially during the zombie virus, because good luck getting it. We've got issues with the postal, like everything's a nightmare right now with postal. Well, it was more so then. I would never have chosen to order something at that time from China. Plus, in this case, if it didn't fit, you can't return it because it's over. It would cost more for shipping to return it. So I was very clear in asking, and I looked through the thing. They had all over. Oh yeah, ships from San Diego, ships from California, ships from San Diego. No, it didn't ship from China. They lied. Then they used a fake shipping thing for a fake shipping ID to provide with PayPal so you can get a refund. It was a headache to get it. And they eventually sent me some fake product and I was like, I'm just done with it by then. I'm going to eat the $40 and lesson learned. I will never buy anything from a Facebook ad again. But this is what gets me. That ad is still running. It's a scam. And I'm not talking about, oh, I had a bad experience, so I'm calling it a scam. No, it is a scam. Fake shipping information from a fake site that is a known fake site. It's a spoof site off their actual shipping info. They send a product that is not what is described. They lie to you about where it's coming from. This is all scammy shit. Sorry, I just swore. Whoops. But I said a sheet. It's a scammy sheet. But they do, I just distracted myself. Anyway, that is still up on Facebook. Keeping you safe. It didn't matter if you reported it. They don't care. They don't care that there are scams on there. So when they come to us and say that they're keeping the community safe by requiring this information from us, bull. They are not. Bullshit. They are not. Let's see. D said, Facebook have updated their privacy settings again, according to an article I saw online today. Time to find out what else they're spying on. Yeah, EO said, I wouldn't put it past Facebook to sell our personal info. They already were. We know they were. They had been. For a very long time, they had been. And lied about it. And there was proof that they were doing that. Paul said, yeah, who reviews such stuff? Is it a human person or just a robot? I don't know. I think they're just collecting it. I don't think anyone's reviewing it. I think it's a collection thing. Yeah, and it should get a mod wheel from China, never received, at least got a refund. Waited 2 freaking months. And that's what they hope for. So when they ship out of other countries, that's one of the problems too. PayPal has a limit on how long you can file a claim saying that it didn't come. So if they can drag it along saying it's coming, here's the fake shipping info, they're able to bypass that in many cases. Starving Artist Collective said, TikTok has started doing the photo thing. They decide what videos you should see depending on the emotional profile they think the photo reveals. What? Christian, I love how you call the virus a zombie virus. You know what's funny? So I was updating my Patreon stuff, and I didn't even realize this until, so I've got the tier 1, some people just want to donate a buck or whatever to help support the channel. And so there's no real reward on there, but my joke was, and I made this back in 2014, that dollar gives you guaranteed protection from the zombie virus, and now I call this a zombie virus. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a lie then, huh? I did say that there would be no, I won't, anyway, I'm going to get in trouble for words on Facebook, or YouTube, oh, there too, YouTube. I won't continue with that subject, but yeah, anyway, it was kind of funny. I'm like, wow, foreshadowing much? Okay. So let's blend this up. I'm going to pull that purple. Actually, I'm going to switch to a violet or a pink. No, this one actually should work. And we're just slowly going to build up those shadows. So right now he's super flat. My goal is to get most of this blocked in at least like the first layer and then spray. He won't look good today, but get that sprayed so that we can do the detailing and more shading next week. We need to finish him, and then we can do the jellyfish and the other frog over there. Oh my gosh, I am looking forward to this one being done. The next project cannot be this complicated. Well, this one's big too. It can be complicated, but smaller, I think, makes more sense. This has been the longest project. Oh, we got that one. Man, I have had a lot of rants today. Should get me started on a flexi lead. Must resist. Will not do it. So this little guy has been in the big vivarium now for a few weeks. He's definitely taken advantage of all that space. It's adorable. He's super, super active. And he barks a lot. And I don't know why, it's never not funny when this little guy barks. Well, when any of the tree frogs bark. I'm hoping that the Leucomelas, the bumblebees, dart frogs, they're getting old enough. They should be about that stage where hopefully I've got some males in there and I can listen to them chirp. They have a really cool bark. Sarah Makes Art said, I can hold my phone up to my face, and when I'm logging into an app, it'll auto-populate. What did I just hear? It'll auto-populate with my username and password, but that's not the same thing you're talking about, right? No, that's your phone. It's different than an app like Facebook that you don't know. Like, it's different. Paul said, same thing happened to this new platform. I don't want to name it because it mainly catered to not suitable for work creators. It's quite popular now. They decided to clean the platform. If it's the same one, are you talking about OnlyFans? Because they took that back. They undid that ruling and it's not getting cleaned up. Leisha said, I just got an email from Spring with your new t-shirt slogan and a 10% off coupon. Hopefully you're aware of the coupon. I am not, but whatever. Huh. They're not supposed to do that with... I think I opted... Maybe I didn't opt out. Huh. Which new t-shirt? I haven't made a new one in a while. I'm curious now, like, what? I'm really curious what the email was because I haven't updated a new one. I think it was... No, I'm sorry. I opted out of discounts with... I left it with Spring. I opted out with Fine Art America because I'm the one who gives you guys the discount code. Because so one of the rewards with the new Patreon levels is the 100% like my cost of prints. So no, Spring, that is correct. I bet that they're just doing randomly emailing people. So that makes sense. I'm mixing up two different sites is what's happening. I do need to make some more merch though because I'm gonna make more designs for the stickers. So like it'll be more glitch stuff, maybe some fish stuff, maybe an octopus. I don't know, but the more graphic type design. So I've got to get some more stuff over on those soon, sometime in the near future. I'm working right now. I need to get this painting finished. My goal, I'm gonna try to get my new painting. I started it last night. I'm gonna try to finish it by. If I work on it tonight, all night, if I have a long night tonight and a long night tomorrow, I'm going to try to get it finished. It's elephants. If not, I can work on it Sunday too. I'm just trying to get it done before then. I'm trying to rearrange my schedule. So I'm trying to move Patreon up by a day, just for my other scheduled days. So yeah, I am, once that's done, then I'll probably work on some more merch stuff. I need to work on more prints for my print site too. I have lots of stuff to do. Okay. Let's get a bit more like a violet maybe for the shading. Do I have a lighter violet? I don't think I do. It's the You Listen Too Slow. Yeah, that one, I made that one a few months ago. That's cool though. I'm glad they're sending that out. I think that's awesome. Leisha said, which I can't wear because I speak really slow. Well, there's the other ones. I also made the Glitch Words Are Hard one too. So yeah, I need to make more of those. I also want to make another one with that goes with the sticker that I did. The Layer Until It Looks Good one. Wait, can you see? There we go. But the Layer Until It Looks Good, I want some merch with that on it too. Paul said, yeah, they kick the very people that built the platform. It applies to other platforms. Why can't they respect that? OF wanted to partner with MasterCard, apparently. I don't even know. I mean, it's one of those things I just don't pay that much attention to because it's not something I'm into. Like, if that's what people want to do, they're welcome to it. But I also don't have to respect or like it. Like, I think that it should be legal for them to do. I think it should be fine. It's always been that way, so it's kind of weird for them to have made that change, like try to make that change, which they backed out of. But it's also something that I can choose just not to respect people who do. Like, go for it. You have the right to do it. I have the right to not respect you. So it made a lot more sense. I just downloaded MeWe. Yay, go add me. It made more, like, I thought that was just such a weird, like, why would they make that choice? That doesn't even make sense. That's how they make their income. Although I guess there were some issues with a lot of, like, them not keeping up on underage users uploading inappropriate content. So that is a definite issue. So they were, I heard some, I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention to it. I just watched a few videos, like, people talking about it. But my overall thing was, not something I really care about one way or another. You do your thing. Lisa had finally waking up for art time, but I gotta clean the treat tank. Clean and treat the tanks. Oh, good luck. I hope that works out for you. It is said the fish disease. Oh my God, that just. If my fish ended up, if I didn't get rid of the flukes, I'm gonna have to set up a 20-gallon tank. I'm currently cycling the sponges for the filtration in another tank. Yeah, it's just tanks everywhere. I want one tank. One. They're just everywhere. But I'm cycling the sponge so I can set up a 20-gallon. I guess the 20-gallon would go here on the floor. I'd move the plants and move them. I don't even know where it would go. But I have the medication. I did get prepared. So worst case, I drain the tank, put it all in there. Like, I don't want to do any of that, but it's my plan. And it sucks because it gets in the way of work, like what you're having to deal with. Good luck though. I hope that works out. How do you guys, I'm curious, for those of you with freshwater fish, I don't even know how you treat it. Like with saltwater, we can go copper, we can do tank to transfer method, we can do hyposalinity. You guys can't do hyposalinity because you have no salinity. I don't even know how you treat ick for freshwater. But either case, like any treatment for ick, we'd have to bring it out of the direct tank. Start getting some shading around here. There's something about painting an animal that you are so in love with. Like, I love this specific frog. He looks ridiculous right now, but he is the cutest little frog. He is not, I am so glad he never had, he is the only red-eye tree frog of 9 frogs, the only one I've gotten that did not have parasites when I got him. Thank God he didn't though. He is the wiggliest booger. So with tree frog, like, you don't want to touch them with your skin. You have to wear gloves. That are wet with distilled water, everything. They absorb things through their skin. So like my hand lotions, any soap, if I didn't get all the soap off, it could really hurt him. So when I have to pull him, whether I'm moving him or he's in an area of the tank I need to clean, or in his case where I have to pull him and put him in the bucket to soak the shed off his elbows, he tries his best to get away. Like, he is not a calm frog. He moves so, like, he is wiggly and jumpy and has climbed all over my shirt. Like, he is everywhere trying to get away. If I had to force feed this one for deworming like I did the other frogs, I don't think I'd be able to get it into him. He's too wiggly. I do not think I'd be able to control it. He is the most active, wiggly, adorable little frog. None of my other frogs, I mean, they get wiggly, not like him. And they're actually not super active frogs, well, even at night, they spend a lot of time, like, they pick their leaf and then sit there. They'll walk and move sometimes, but they're not super active. He is much more so than the rest. Leisha said, for freshwater, we use a product called Inktense. Okay. Paul said, hope YouTube keeps its 10 toes down. I love YouTube. Yeah, I'm definitely... It's my favorite platform. I mean, there are some complaints I have, but even then, like, the thing with YouTube, so I complain occasionally. You hear, well, I say at the end of my videos where I'm like, please subscribe, chances are YouTube still won't notify you. Yeah, but to be fair, that is still in some sense in my control. If I was making I don't go clickbaity enough. Now, there's good clickbait and then there's shady clickbait. I don't do the good clickbait enough, and I need to put that effort into my videos. If I made something that you're like, oh, I want to see this, or if I had a habit of making content that was interesting to you and you were more likely to click it, they're more not likely to notify you. So that is within my control to an extent. YouTube's algorithm, they know, they're like, not a lot of people are going to watch this for very long, so we're not going to bother suggesting it. So unfortunately, sometimes when people would watch it, they still don't get it suggested, but there is some aspect of that is within my control that I can do to get more views, to get my content shared with more people. So as much as we want to blame YouTube and go, oh, they're not sharing our stuff, make better stuff. Make more interesting content, change the content. Like, we do have some control. So with YouTube, I feel like I do have more power in how a video is going to perform. We like to think that everything is based on luck with YouTube, and it's not. There is a specific algorithm that we can use and that we can kind of game to an extent to get our stuff in front of more people. And with Facebook, it's the only thing that would work is drama. That is it. If you're not creating drama, people aren't commenting, and half the drama that is shared on Facebook is done in a way they figured out. If we combine 2 specific type of negative things, if we can mix these 2 elements together, I'm not going to say what they are because I'm not going to get into the drama, but if we can combine this type of a story and this type of a very specific story, we will get more clicks and more views. It doesn't matter if it's true. You just have to say it is in the title. People aren't even going to read the article. You put that in the title, and you just guaranteed that post is going to go viral with those 2 things. whether they're true or not. And that's one of the big problems that I have with Facebook. The way, like, unless you're creating drama, your video with, or your content without paying for advertisement is not going to hit, it's not going to reach people. Now you can pay or you can create drama. Pick one. This is why that platform promotes so much negativity. Those are your options. So that's an issue. Alicia said, true, X has malachite green in it. I have some, actually, no, I have methane blue is what I'm thinking. Let's see. Yeah, I feel sorry for you guys who have fish in your, or frogs, or any animals where you might need to buy medication. Canada cannot get the medications we can get here for our, like, you have to get a prescription from a vet for really basic medications, which makes it really hard to treat. Just random information, if you didn't know this, like certain super basic stuff that we just go to the pet store and get, you know, different antibiotics for fish, different antibiotics for that, for our frogs and whatever. Well, we really use fish, and we use fish medications for frogs typically. But you can't get a lot of them in Canada, which is really hard for you guys. It makes it hard because you like don't have time to order over. You can. A lot of them will. People will get it from overseas. I don't know if you're supposed to be doing that, but they do. It just takes too long. By then, like, the problem is out of control. I've been having fun. Total random. I don't know if you have one of these, Natalie. I put a ammonia badge on the newer tanks just to monitor. I have one on the big reef tank, but there's never been ammonia in there. I mean, besides when it initially cycled. But the little one, I've been feeding the ammonia to build the bacteria, and the one where I'm cycling those sponges. Like putting in enough ammonia to, it's technically ammonia, it's actually a fish product, but to watch the ammonia alert badge change colors. There's no fish in there, so it's just fun. I have fun changing the colors on the ammonia alert badge. Yeah, I can understand requiring a prescription for certain medications, but some stuff it's like, okay, you're just making this difficult for the sake of being difficult at this point, it seems. Heartworm medication. That one makes sense to me. If you give a dog heartworm medication and it has heartworm, you could kill the dog. So that's an issue. You want to make sure it's been tested first. But some of these medications that specifically for fish and for frogs, it's like, man, making it really hard to treat these animals. Because the problem with those, with fish and with frogs, it's not like a dog where you're like, we'll take it to a vet, obviously. You can't do that with a fish. You can't do that. I mean, even with me, I had to find an exotic vet. And even with them, they can only do so much, but they are actually very helpful. I'm lucky. I do have one close to me. But most people who have problems with their frogs or they have problems with their fish, there is no vet they can take it to get a prescription. And a lot of vets are like, I'm not comfortable writing a prescription for an animal. You know, you can't bring the fish in. I don't know how to treat fish. I'm not comfortable writing this prescription. It's a bit of a nightmare. Sarah said, I think mentioning the dimensions and finish of the paper I was working on hurt my retention for my last video. It seems to do better when I jump right into the tips. That is a big thing. Getting into the point of the video as fast as possible. And I will say, I think TikTok videos and watching TikTok I'm learning from that, like, get to the point. How many times do I scroll past a TikTok video because you took 2 seconds? You've got half a second to get my attention. So trying to do that a little bit more in the videos too, that's a good point, Sarah. You know, people, and I think too, we've got this bit, TikTok, maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I think TikTok is making, and a lot of people watch those, making us less patient. Oh, that's not what we needed, but it is. Like, even with myself, I'm like, nope, didn't get my attention in time. And maybe it was a good video. I don't know, bored, too slow, go, move. You know, I keep scrolling through. I want to get to it quickly. And I'm learning from that, and I'm trying to apply that now a bit more to my own videos that are edited. So I think that's a good point, Sarah. Eos loves Canada sucks that way when it comes to ordering certain things. Yeah, it's definitely hard. Natalie said, same here in Australia. I see a lot of fish friends using poultry medication. Oh, the sea chem thing? Yes, the sea chem one. That thing is, I don't know. I've been amused by like how many drops of ammonia can I put in before I see it change colors. Also, now I know for sure those things work. Because I had it in the tank before and it never changed colors and it's like, does this even work? Yeah, it definitely works. I am really glad his pupils are not white in real life. That is creepy. So this part of his belly, this is kind of a good lesson here. This part of his belly, white, like as white can be. But look how dark we need to make it. You don't actually paint or draw most things in white. They're going to be very reflective and pick up what's around them. I'll end up pulling more blues and such in here too, which I can do that now. Just remember that white rarely is white. It won't look right. It'll look very flat, like a bad wedding photographer's work. Hobby Artist said, hi Lisa, if I wanted to have hazy blue sky in a landscape, what colors would I combine with the blue? Would graphite underpainting give me that effect? I wouldn't do a graphite underpainting. That seems like a lot more work than it should be, but you've got a few options. You need to basically gray it up a bit. You don't want it to be blue because that's going to be too vivid. So when you want to tone your blue down, you can add a little bit of orange, play around with it and see what gives you the best results. You can start by mixing gray and add just a touch of blue is normally how I would get that effect because it's more gray. There's very, very little blue in that, if any. Sometimes it really is just gray, but our eyes assume sky blue. So we think that there's more blue than there really is, but when you actually paint it, like if you use a color matching tool or a color no chickens are pecking anything in this video. If you use a color picker tool in Photoshop, you can see how gray that would be. In many cases, there is no blue at all in that. But normally it's just graying it up. Like you could use sometimes a burnt sienna would work, a little bit of that in with the blue might give you the effect that you're going for. It's just anything to tone it down. Sometimes a little bit of orange would do it. But yeah, more often than not, I'm going to do black and white and slowly add a tiny bit of blue to get it to the color I want. Let's see. Leisha's zombie frog, right? They really look like zombies on the night cams because their eyes are white, even though they're not. They're solid black. It's all pupil in the dark. But the way that night cams work, they look like little zombies. Paul said, how do you like your pasta? Carbonara style or the old school one? I don't even know what those things are. I'm not a huge I like macaroni and cheese. I don't dislike like spaghetti or anything. I don't eat a lot of pasta. It's not my thing. I had though grilled cheese sandwiches last night with the leftover, and I was out of my bread, my gluten-free bread, so I had a gluten-free hamburger bun. It was the best. I would never have thought this. I was just doing it because I was like, I'm hungry and this is what I have available right now. It was the best grilled cheese sandwich ever. It was so good on a hamburger bun, but it worked. The hamburger buns though that I use, the gluten-free ones, are really like they're better than a normal people hamburger bun. Now, one of the things I have to watch here, I have a little bit of blue mixed in with this shadow. I need to not use this, or I need to wipe it off before I blend into the orange, or I'm going to make a muddy mess. Actually, that wouldn't be terrible on this one, but I'm going to wipe this off, and I'll actually use the back of it a bit more when I blend into these areas, because I do not want that blue and that orange. Those are not colors, or the blue mixing in with the yellow here and getting green. Not what I want. Also, you can see here, I need to darken up this part of the octopus a lot. Now that I've got the frog in there, I can see he's not standing out enough. So let's get those purples and some of those darks in. Sarah said, I've read about schools requiring students to have a doctor's note to bring sunscreen on a field trip because it's considered a medication. That's interesting. Huh. Zay said, who are some artists that have inspired your art and your style? Christian Lassen for sure. Like early on, I would say Christian Lassen more than anyone. Weiland initially, just because he was the main marine artist that I had seen. But then once I saw Christian Lassen's work, it was like, oh no, that's what I want mine. I appreciate that more. Like that's my favorite. So Christian Lassen for sure. Jaime Jimenez himself really inspired me because he does not, I don't even know if he has his website going. He's such an amazing artist and he just doesn't post that much. But he really made a difference in my work. Oh, I'm going to tone that orange down because that looks like it's too close to the frog. Those are I would say were the biggest ones. And then just tons of artists along the way that I've seen, like John Bai, his art is amazing, where he airbrushes the background, and that's where I really learned a lot watching how he does that. I would say his definitely influenced me. I was already doing those methods, but then I felt like he was doing it even better. And so I looked at his. So this is the thing. They will often tell you, do not compare yourself to another artist. That is great advice if you do not want to improve. You should compare yourself to another artist. So let's use this as an example. I like the work I was doing. I'm airbrushing my background and painting my subject in, and I get that nice out of focus look. And then I saw John Bai's work and thought, oh, that is way better than what I was currently doing. I would like to up mine a bit, and not necessarily to the level of detail because I don't enjoy putting that. Like he is a lot more detailed than I do. But I did compare my work in that. Okay, what is he doing differently that I like more? When I see his, I'm liking aspects of his work more than certain parts of mine. Comparing yourself, it's okay to compare if you figure out what it is that you may want to change in yours. So you're learning from that. When you don't compare yourself because you're like, no, I'm going to do it my way. Well, great. You're forever going to probably stay about the same level. If you want to improve, you should be comparing, but not comparing in the sense that like, oh, that person's better than me. I feel bad about my art now. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is look at somebody else's artwork and figure out what is it, if you like what someone else is doing, what is it that they're doing differently than you that you might be able to implement in your work. So he's a big one. I really like a lot of what is his name? I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. I really like his work too. He does a lot of, and I was already doing the same thing, that wallpaper style background, but he does it where it's more blotchy, and I cannot think of his name right now, but he is really good. So there are a lot of artists. This is the funny thing. There are a lot of artists, because I'm not using Facebook and Instagram, I don't even see their content anymore. See, this is why you need to duplicate yourself onto other platforms. So when people are like, I've had it with Facebook, which inevitably is happening with most people, they can still see your content or be signed up to an email newsletter. I don't think either of these artists have. Maybe John Bai does. I should look into that, but I don't remember him ever telling anyone about it. So he wasn't pushing it on people. So that is, I'm missing out on their work now. Why can't I think of the other artist's name? There's a lot of artists though, a lot, but those are some of the bigger ones for me. Let's see. Paul said, I heard this What If show is good. I stopped watching Disney Plus content after Loki, really. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really into that one. Like, that doesn't sound, it didn't catch my interest. I didn't watch it, so maybe it's amazing and I'm just missing out. I don't know. Paul said, actually, when I get demotivated with my work, I just check the artists I follow, and it makes me want to get up and get on with it. Maybe it's a psychological thing. Yeah. What is the name of the artist? What is the name of the last artist? John Bai. B-Y-E? I think it's B-Y-E, John Bai. Hold on. I don't know where my phone is. I'm pretty sure. Let's find out. No, that's not him. That's him. Okay. Yeah, John, John He's amazing. But he really inspired me to make a few adjustments to the way I was doing that out of focus, like to take it to another level. So it's not like I'm copying his work, but I was inspired by it, and I think I improved because of it. I was influenced by him, not like I didn't try to make my work exactly like his, because that's not what I wanted either. But there were aspects about his work that I liked better than what I was the way that I was doing it. Who's breathing heavy over there? I brought in a new gray bed. It was in my bedroom that no one was using. It was like folded in half, so no one was really using it. The one that Gibson's on, he is much happier today, if you've noticed. That was always when it was in my office. That was the bed everyone fought to, like, who could lay down on it first. So I think I have pleased Gibson with this bed being in here. Victor Grosso is amazing too. No, he definitely. I learned a lot from him. He's the one I believe he does a lot with. He's done a lot of octopuses. It mixed in with his other work, and the movement really helped me. But his is, God, that guy is phenomenal. There's another one though that I can't. And it's not that it's like his work was technically. It's gonna pop in my head like later tonight. It's not that his work was like technically the most accurate. It wasn't like photorealism. Well, it would technically be photorealism because you would be using a photo as a reference, but not like hyperrealism or anything like that. It's not like John By's type of art, but it was. I have a video on it somewhere. If you look up Lachri and artists who inspired me or something like that, because it was a question someone asked, and I showed samples of their work. But he does. I don't know, just the way that he blended that wallpaper type style, like stencil background in with the subject, I really liked. I'm really bad with names though, so I don't remember at all anything ever. I'll probably need some detail in there so it looks like it matches that octopus. Aw, Elle said I can say Lachri is my influence. No, thank you. Zombie mode deactivated. Artistic flower. Paul said, you're referring to the one who paints floating sharks in roads or subways. No, I'm not, but that person, or I've seen a few people with that. So that actually has been part of what inspired another bunch of paintings I'm going to be doing coming up here. So yeah, no, that's another really amazing artist. I can't think of their name either. I follow them. I follow a bunch of these people on Instagram, but I don't see their stuff. If they had an email newsletter that I was signed up for, I would still be seeing their stuff, even though I've left those specific platforms. And this is a good thing for everyone to be paying attention to. And even if they do have an email newsletter, the problem is they aren't pushing it enough. I don't know it exists. So even if it does exist, they never post it on social media to let me know to follow them on those. So there's another art lesson for you guys, because there have been so many artists over the years who I really liked. And it's like, if I had been signed up for their email newsletter, I would still know who they were. And instead I can just be like, oh, I remember seeing this one artist. But that newsletter is the one thing you're going to have full control over, that and your website. And I think the newsletter is a bigger deal in some aspects. You need both, but like the website, maybe I did see somebody's website, because the artists that I'm talking about, all of those, I know they all have websites. Maybe I've seen their website, but I don't remember their name. That doesn't do me any good. But if I was getting emails from them, that's that more continuous reminder, which is helpful. Chris Austin I like too, but that's not him. I have one of Chris Austin's paintings. I need to get it framed. I bought it a couple of years ago. It was my birthday present. It was a present I bought for myself from my husband. That's how that works when you're married and you want a Christmas or a birthday present. But yes, I do have one of his I was really excited to get. One of very few artists I have their work of, but he's not the one that I'm thinking of. It's another one that I follow on it. Well, when I use Instagram. Yeah, that Pablo shows up really well, huh? It'll show up better too once I get the layer of fixative. Actually, my fixative I didn't bother shaking up, so I'm not going to go further on this guy tonight. Or actually, probably do some shading under his feet. But I can't do much more until I spray this and let it dry, and we're already towards the end here. This is what's so cool about sanded paper and why I like it for surreal work, where normally with colored pencil, you never really saw me do surreal stuff with colored pencil before powder blender, because when I work with surreal stuff, I'm combining a lot of different elements and I'm changing my mind constantly. Like, should I blend this with purple or blue? I don't even know which is going to look better right now. So with acrylics, no problem, easy to change. Easy, just layer over it until it looks right. With colored pencil on a hot press watercolor paper, you better have that stuff designed and planned out before you ever start, because you're not changing a whole lot once you get started. But with the sanded paper, I can just layer on top of layer on top. I don't hit an area that just, I can't do more on. Oh, I do want to show you guys the start of the elephants though. That I am working on. This is not the best color for that shadow. Let's switch to this before we wrap up. Kylie said, you just made me literally LOL with zombie mode deactivated. Woke up my other half. I'm in Australia, so it's sleep time. Oh my gosh. Apologize to him for me. Pet him on the head. People love when you do that when they're trying to sleep. Maybe this is why my husband and I don't share a room anymore. He's like, I'm done with your crap. Go in your own room. No, it's actually because he snores, but that story's funnier. So adding these shadows, the cool thing too is it's going to make him stand out a bit more. Darkening these up a bit. Okay, I'm going to leave this alone for now. He's not done. We'll finish him next week. Okay, I have to itch my eye, but I have pencil over my finger, so I probably am making lines all over the place. Okay, let me show you guys this. I may have to back the camera out a bit. I don't know if it'll show up well. So the base layer is down. The elephants are drawn out. There we go. So you can kind of see. The dark shadow is not, actually maybe I can adjust the lighting and you can see better what that is going to be. The contrast is way too, nope, that's just gonna look like crap no matter what. I can't get the lines to show well enough for you guys. It's weird, this is not showing. Like it's not, there's something weird. This camera does not do well with yellows because it actually has a very almost yellowy cream tint to it. Nope, not that much. And now this is showing it is not that much. That is weird. This is not what this looks like. I don't know why this is showing this deep brown. That is not what this looks like in person at all. It's just the hint of a shadow that I've got to airbrush over. But anyway, whatever. That's what we're getting for now. This guy is a really bad angle, but it's kind of a desert scene. These are all burnt out trees and the mom elephant and her baby. So that is what I'm working on. This is an acrylics. I'm going to try to get this done. Hopefully tonight and tomorrow night should be enough to finish it because it's a pretty simple background. I'm going to be airbrushing that tonight and then get started on the details and the elephants. So this will be a good one for tips on you're getting the look of elephant skin without painting in every single individual line. So that's what the focus will be. And that lesson will be on Patreon and Subscribe Star this week. So that is what's coming there. Let's move that back to this guy so we can see where we're at on this painting and how much we have left to go. Go back there. Oh, wow, that just screwed up that color. That is not what that looks like at all. Hold on. That is like super pastel. I don't hate it, but that's not what it looks like. Contrast, saturation. This is closer. Yeah, this camera has issues. Someday there will be good webcams and my life will be greatly improved. Let's move you up so you can kind of see where we're at on this now. We're getting there. We'll finish him up. There's no reason the frog shouldn't be finished next week, and then we can start over here. Let's see. Dawn said, thanks Lisa for your time and talent. Great job work. Thanks Nick. Thanks Joseph, and happy birthday. Cake for everyone. Yes, happy birthday to Joseph. Natalie said, it's really refreshing to hear about the separate rooms. Sometimes it feels like the hubby and I are weirdos for it. I suck at sleeping. He snores. That was us. And I'm a horrible human when I'm trying to sleep. Like I'm not all there. Like I'm not awake all the way. I'm just awake enough to be angry and start kicking. Like I'm not a happy sleeper. I sleep, I don't know how to explain it. I don't wake up right. Like it's very, very odd. So it's like, it's just happier for everyone for this to be the case. But it was funny because when we were looking for a house and we're talking amongst ourselves and like, okay, this could be your room, this will be my room. And the people are looking at us like the realtor, or not the realtor, because we didn't use a realtor. We used like whoever the person showing the homes because we did new build, we were looking at new builds. And they'd look at you like, what is going on with these people? And we have to explain, like, no, he snores. Like, it's not, there's no problem with that. Like, we're happily married, but he snores really bad. So, yeah, it was kind of a funny ongoing thing. Joseph said, I've said it before, you can have your yellows correct or your reds, never both. Yeah, that is about right. Alicia said, that's looking so good. Thank you. Okay, so we are done. Let's see, I will be posting most likely on MeWe, possibly TikTok. We'll see how this goes this week. I've got tons of, I really am going to be pushing to get that. Oh, I moved it over here. It's not there anymore. It's over here. Get that elephant painting done tomorrow night, and then I can post that. Let's see. So one of the things I do want to let you guys know that upgraded for the newer Patreon tiers, the coloring pages will normally go along with whatever the painting was that week. So it'll match up, except when it was a wildlife reference photos. That's pretty much all I use for paid references. But in this case, those elephants came from wildlife reference photos. I can't give you that as a coloring page unless you bought that photo. So what I'm going to do instead is put an elephant in that same scene, but a different elephant from Fixative, because there's some great photos over there, or just a different photo from a past painting altogether. So this will not be one that matches up exactly, just because, again, I don't have the rights to do that with wildlife reference photo and then provide it to you unless you purchased it. So anyway, that photo, either way, those of you who are getting your coloring pages, who just want to have fun and color, I'll have something new for you this week along with whatever the video is. It may or not may be that theme. So let's see, anything else? Follow me on MeWe, because as we learned in this video, Facebook sucks. And I think that's it. I will see you guys next week. So new schedule again. I will have a new edited video for you sometime on Tuesday, live stream Wednesday, new edited art tip on Thursday. Friday is another live stream. So yeah, it's a busy schedule. Let's see if I can keep to it. I'm determined. Anyway, thank you guys for joining. Thank you for Nick and Joseph. Their links for their channels. They both have art channels here on YouTube. Joseph is live streaming once a week. A lot of the same people in this chat hang out on his video and chat. So definitely check that out. Links are in the video description. And I will see you guys this weekend on MeWe and TikTok, next week on YouTube. Bye.